The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcast, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LJA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and/or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LJA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last.
Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, The Glenn Larry Show.
I do bid everybody welcome from any time zone you're from or where you're from. Thank you for listening to the Glenn Larry Show on UFO Talk Radio, K-Ghost Radio, of course, that you know what that is. To all the late night drivers out there, I've met you and we've talked. It was nice meeting you guys down there by the Gold Strike. To all the ham operators and the needle benders, 73's to you. Silent Key, I bid you love and thank you. Whiskey 60 Baker. You all know who that is. K6RCL out of Goleta, good friend of mine. And to all my affiliates out there and small broadcasters and small stations, the low-powered FMs and low-powered AM net, we thank them for helping us out. And to, of course, the beautiful town of Good Springs at K-Ghost Radio, 101.3 FM, AM 1610. And who's listening all over the world? Oh, we do thank you. And if you get a chance to listen to KPFF FM in Pahrump, Nevada, we just love that little station. I do so much, and they're working it out, having fun, I'll tell you for sure. And to my friends out there in Pennsylvania, you know who you are. I want to thank you for listening. And my friends in Florida, especially Ken and Dee, want to say hello to you. Barbara and Neil over there in England. Yes, my goodness. Gosh, good people. Chief Hall, hello. And to Ed out there, I'm sure he's listening tonight. Numbers are starting to climb already. A lot of Canada I can see over here. I'm looking at Seaside, Oregon. They're popped up antenna. Good. I know who that is. I'll tell you for sure. Okay, now, tonight's show is going to be a lot of fun. But first, let me get into something here. You know, the submarine on the Titanic expedition, it's gone missing. Yeah, there's five persons aboard this 21-foot vessel. And my gosh, they got everybody looking for them. They're out there in the North Atlantic, and my gosh, it's just terrible. I got the Air Force, Canadian Air Force, the U.S. Coast Guard, and other rescue teams out there. Dwindling oxygen supply, and this is what really bothers me, scares me. About 40 hours left, if that. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack, and of course, they're going to go down where they were. Where the sub was going down to the Titanic, so they know where it's at, but they're worried about it drifting off, and it's just crazy. And it's at the bottom of the ocean. So, my gosh, your prayers are needed. So if you can do that, that would be so cool. I mean, if they pull these people out of that, just the hand of God, just take them, and rescue them. I pray for that. Well, it looks like the Space X was successful launching their first world factory. Yeah, the first world space factory. Falcon 9 rocket of course, deployed 72 small little satellites for their customers. A lot of satellites up there. My God. Oh, and the space junk. Who knows what the heck? Yeah. Well, zero gravity, you can do a lot with that. And they have done a lot of that in space. Oh, my goodness. It's unbelievable. Medicines and all sorts of things. Plant life. Oh, it's quite interesting. Well, our show tonight's going to be kind of fun. I'm looking forward to it. We're in a galactic time now. How may I say this? We're in a time where things are really changing. The Earth is changing. We're changing. Weird times, of course. And tonight's show is with the Galactic Federation Vision, and this is the captain of that organization. And I know there's other groups like that out there. I'll be asking him some questions too about that. But yeah, let me introduce the captain. Sir, are you there?
I am here.
Fantastic. Well, Captain, what is it all about? This Galactic Federation Vision, and I've seen so many galactic groups out there, and I've had a couple of folks on, but here you are the captain, and how's that work? Well, let's just tell me how you started doing this and what got you involved, and where did it all come from? I mean, now you're in the Federation here. Go ahead.
Where did it all come from? That's a great question. My whole life I wondered that. It's a great intro. From a very early age, I always knew I was not from here. I was very psychically intuitive. By the age of 4, I remember my teachers were contacting my parents, telling them I was drawing the pyramids and explaining to them how they worked and what their function really was, and that we just got back from Egypt. And my parents, I told them I just gotten back from Egypt, and they would ask my parents and say, so here he says that you just got back from Egypt. And my parents were like, no, we've never been there. Well, he's describing it like he was just there. And so that was something early on. And I think many of us here who are not from here have had similar experiences where we're in the wrong, or we're in a different time era, if that makes sense. I always say it's not where we're at, it's when we are at.
So you're in a different time zone than we are. Would you say vibration, or how would you say that?
They're called Edon. So the word node backwards is EDON and NOOD. So it's a time-space continuum coordinates.
That's there you go.
Based upon memory, based upon a vibration. So our race of beings, we vibrate at a different frequency,
about
a higher velocity,
80 hertz, I think.
What's that?
About 80 hertz, I think.
Yes. And so we vibrate at a higher frequency, and we're a social memory complex. So it's almost like you're talking to a collective species when we are having these conversations, because we're at such a high level of consciousness.
Okay. So now, at a young age, we were like 6 or 12, or how old were you when this first came to you?
This started happening, I guess, paranormal events started happening probably around the age of 6 and 7. I was taken into the secret space program at the age of 6.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when everything really started to speed up, I guess you could say, for me.
And how long were you in this program? Well, you still are, apparently. So
I still am. Yeah, still am. And
now, how do they take you? Are they come knocking on your house? We want your kid, or how's that work?
There's been some times where I have walked out the front door and they have been there. So yes, a lot. I mean, I've had experiences where you'll just be woken up and then you'll go outside. It's almost like you're like in a dream state, like sleepwalking. Go outside of my backyard. There'd be a small craft about the size of like a VW bug, like a triangle craft,
Mm-hmm.
and a door would swing open, and there would be 2 other or 3 other people in there, and then there'd be a pilot, and then I would get in and sit down, and the door would close and go up to the moon. Other times, there is underground tunnel systems like mag tunnel systems,
Mm-hmm.
like mag lifts,
Mm-hmm.
and I would go to like a dummy house somewhere in the neighborhood, and you go walk in their house, and there'd be like a door, like a trap door on the floorway, like with a tunnel system, and you'd hop in a tube, and it'd take you to a certain location.
So you would actually, would these kids be the same age that you were? Would you notice that? Would you grow old with these other folks on this flight?
Yeah, there's many participants. Not all participants make it through the program. You know, it's just like in life. You know, you have friends, and some fall off, some die. You know, but a lot of us stay in the program. We stay in the program until. But yes, we're on the same age. Absolutely.
Now, when you got on the ship, your first time, what was going on? Did they sit you down and say, "Hey, you're now in a program because you've been selected"? Did someone select? I mean, what I'm trying to ask you, were you selected by your teachers, or how'd they know just to get you? I mean, how'd that all come about?
It's our soul signature. It's part of our Akashic training and Akashic records. It's almost like you're going to Earth and you're doing an assignment to learn how it is to be human, but on another part or level of your life, you're being trained in many different arts. You know, the arts, you know, like all sorts of training. Like you're going through intense training, like soul trainings.
Okay,
That makes sense.
it does.
And
It does.
Go on, and it's meant to almost kind of break you out of your normalcy of your human condition, and it pops you, and it almost it's like the program creates and helps you to push you into the character who you're supposed to be as your higher self in the future, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So, but you're going to mature and you'll grow with your knowledge.
Correct.
All right. So now you've got this under your belt, and what are you going to do with it?
Well, that's a $6 million question, isn't it?
I realize
that. What
that.
are we going to do with
Yeah.
all this knowledge?
Yeah.
All of this vastness is, well, we're going to take care of the human race. You know, like we've all come here. There's many races of beings, and we're all participating in this event, and we're learning how to move through these energies. And well, now we're going to use all this data that we've collected and how we've learned to cohabitate with humanity, and we're going to bring our knowledge, our future wisdom, our new ways of being, and establish those and get these ways of being anchored of becoming a new species, a new race of human beings.
Now, these other groups out there, these Federation groups, do you guys meet, get together, and travel together? How would that work?
Yes.
Okay.
We travel together, we explore together, and we go as needed into, especially like a planet like Earth. And we have been watching this planet for many millions of years. So we'll send teams in, we'll come back. So let's say like we could leave, let's say for a year, but if we came back to Earth, it might be, 100,000 years later, because the vibration works differently on our scales. And so time seems to go by slower on a lower density vibration level. And so, we can come back and check, and now we're just back here checking on the development of ourselves, the species, the planet, the technology, and we're here to introduce new forms of technology that's going to rapidly accelerate the conscience level and technology level of this planet by a couple hundred years, couple thousand years, depending on the level at which, I guess, we roll out the technology. Like we have technology right now that this Galactic vision that's in almost 100 countries and on every continent, and we've helped many thousands of human beings with many diseases.
Okay.
Just by these technologies that we're using from the future.
Captain, we're going to go to a break real fast, all right? And we'll get back. So we'll recap on that, folks. But Captain, the Galactic Federation vision, interesting. More to come. Interesting.
Mom, you wanted to talk to me?
The calendar hypnosis into thumbtack cushion, completely tailwind. And sewing elephants plant before cartoon paper cups. So numbers renovate.
If your teenager is trying drugs or alcohol, would you know the right words to use?
Afterward, lightly fish scale. Doorbell.
Find out what to say at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
I'm telling you, got a little warm today, too, about 89. Not bad. It's supposed to be the low. It's about 59. It's good. It works for me. To recap, everybody, we do have the captain of the Galactic Federation Vision, and I had him on a year ago. It was a good show, and this is going to be a good show, too. We got a long ways to go. And we're going to open the phone lines at 7:30, all right? And the rules are there. It's on the screen. One person per call. No bad language. Mm-hmm. And just give us a call, and you can talk to this guy at 7:30 now. Okay, now, Captain, we were talking about the vibrations and where you're at, and if you can remember where we left off at.
Yes, and so like I wanted to touch upon the Schumann resonance.
Yeah.
The last couple of days, everyone in the spiritual community is it's a big deal right now with these new energies coming through. And when you go to the Schumann resonance website, that's located in northern Russia by Siberia. It's one of our machines that we have up there, and it puts out a frequency to basically infuse you with our bioluminescent infusion technology from the future, and it helps to basically reconstruct and regenerate the human vessel. So we have technology that sends out frequencies from Siberia and one of our underground locations, and if you're attuned and can adhere to that frequency, it will help to rebuild your consciousness. So that's why everyone right now is feeling so great, because we are in control of this technology now, and we're sharing it with the world. So that's part of our gift to humanity, is to put out a frequency to this planet where it's in your natural rhythm and you're in a higher octave to restore and regenerate not only your body, but your consciousness, and to put you on a higher frequency so you can obtain greater ideas and be a more loving race.
That would be good.
It's amazing.
That would be great. We need more love and more better vibrations. Tell you for sure. With these with all this, now I'm getting some emails from people, and they're asking me, do you have a ship? Or do you just physically, boom, you're there? I mean, do they pick you up from Earth and they take you up, or how's it work?
It's almost like how can I explain it? Like a magnetic,
like a pull, like
pulsation device that pulls you up. And also, a lot of times, I'm going astrally because I've gotten so good at when I can lay down, I can put my mind in a state of consciousness where I can just kind of transfer my consciousness and be on the ship. Now, do they come here physically with their ships? Yes. But as you learn and you grow in consciousness, you learn how to shift yourself through the mind. It's like bilocation.
I have a picture here I'm gonna put up. It's purple, and I think it's the one that's off your website, and it looks like there's a city in the clouds. Over a city.
That would be Shambhala. Yes.
Okay, I got it up, folks.
You're seeing astral locations that are coming into conscious awareness. It's a vibration, and so as you move through the veil. A veil is just like a frequency barrier, like a fence. When you go past the fence, and the barrier, you can start to see things beyond the scope of the light frequency that you were seeing before. And so that's the whole thing about waking up, is that you can see different structures and different elements within the astral light.
And then you say you're pulled. Could you be like driving in your car, maybe just walking on the street, you're pulled like the UFOs, like these? Well, they are UFOs. They're a ship, I guess, and they're hard to see, understand.
Yeah, we have cloaking technologies.
Yeah, we talked about that.
About 5 or 6 years ago, I have to point out our cloaking technologies, and now millions of people are seeing our ships in the sky because the captain brought the attention and the awareness to that, and they've been staring us in the face the whole time.
Okay.
And there's these huge ships in the sky that on one level people are seeing clouds, on another level people are seeing ships. So it's like, well, everyone has a choice to see what they want to see, right? And so that's a part of the experiment too, is like, can you see us?
They play peekaboo.
Yes.
I've seen this before.
Peekaboo.
And
some can see us and some cannot.
I'm putting some up right now. Of some good ones here. The one looks just like a UFO, like a flying saucer. Interesting. So how often do you guys, are you just parked up there right now? Right? It's not cloudy right now. So do you move around the clouds, or you just go to space and come back?
Yeah, our ships, they strategically move where they're needed to move. It's just like an avatar system.
Okay.
It's like the movie Avatar. We have bodies up there, and these are our avatars down on the ground. And so we can move in and out of the avatar system. It's called the immersion program. And so we're here in this immersion program, interacting and playing the roles as human beings. And some of our bodies, like the RH negative or the O negative avatars, those can house a higher frequency being, like a Pleiadian being or an Arcturian being, consciousness to integrate into these avatar systems.
Are the Pleiadians here now?
Oh yes, we are here. We're here in full force. Yes.
You think this is
Pleiadians? We have Syrians, a lot of Lyrans, which are the feline race. So there's many of those as well. We have a lot of Lyrans, Pleiadians, Arcturians. Those are the three main. We have Syrians. And also, this is one thing I really want to point out to all of our listeners, is that reptilians, there's just like with human beings, 99.9% are in service to the light. You have that small fraction that aren't. It's the same thing with the reptilian race. 99.9 of them are all there for our upliftment. It's just you had a small fraction of players who just didn't play by the rules, and it's created what has now been, what's going on in the world right now. So I want everyone to know that we all work together in the higher realms.
So one knows what the other one's doing, correct? I mean, you guys are multitasks. I mean, you're departmental, or I mean, how's that work?
Well, everything, I mean, has its departments and its divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all have the common goal to work what's best for our species and best for the human race. Okay, we have different factions here running multiple experiments on, let's say, one cell group of reptilians and have and they're human vessels, and they're running programs with their own kind as human beings. Right, so you have human beings with that energy still inside of them. They're still playing out that role, and they're running their programs. And you have Pleiadians that are running certain programs, and Arcturians running certain programs for the human race, and Lyrans running certain programs. And so everything is working congruent. So I want everyone to know that everything's always perfectly A-okay on the planet. We can see and hear everything. So like with these lost passengers and this submersible, supposedly, well, I've already got a team on this right now of remote viewers that are working to locate them through echolocation, through telecommunications with telepathy and remote viewing. We're actually looking for them right now. And I just got a call about 45 minutes ago, so they've already contacted them and they're finding out where they are. So everyone just hang tight. We've got everything under control.
Pretty bad. I tell you, it's pretty scary. So you're communicating right now with our Space Force right now. Your group is.
Absolutely. And they're communicating. Yeah, I've got my team. I told them about what's going on with these lost passengers in the ocean. And
talk closer to your microphone, my friend. I'm losing you there.
Okay. Is that better?
A little closer.
There you go. How's that?
That's much better.
Okay. Sorry about that.
I do love landlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But go ahead. Yeah.
So I was saying with our team, as you can remote view someone and see a picture of their face, you can lock on a frequency and start to have a conversation, just like telepathy, and you can start to astral view these beings. And it's kind of like a game of hide and seek that we all play with ourselves. It looks on the surface level like they're lost, but on an astral level, it's a hide and go seek game that we're playing to use our metaphysical powers. Does that make sense? Because everything here is known and charted and tagged and known. Their exact coordinates on everything that we do. Everything is monitored on this planet. Okay, we got the planet on lockdown. We see everything. We hear everything. We know everything. That's why we're like the Akashic data, like librarians almost. We're collecting data on this planet. And so now we just watch what's going on with the planet, and we all can go in at certain locations and certain frequencies, and we can alter people's minds. We can say something, or we may be able to make them not get on the bus, and so their life path goes the way it's supposed to be, if that makes sense.
Being controlled, mind control more or less, but for the goodness of their soul. But somebody else is in control. Accountability. How do you judge that with what you guys are doing?
Accountability?
Yeah.
things work differently in the higher realms. Everything is fixed and coordinated. Everything works like a music box. And so we just, we observe, we do our best not to intervene only in times when it's time, you know, and we'll speak as a council and with other factions, and we'll talk about, you know, plans to do something to intervene if need be. You know, because once you intervene, now you've intervened, and now you have karmic ties and energy ties with this race or with this being, you know, with all this collective. And so we try to stay out of the human affairs, but we show them what could be and what can be.
I got you.
If that makes sense.
It does. Of course, time travelers, are they a part of your program too?
Most definitely. Our temporal team, yes, most definitely.
Interesting. Okay. And what'd you call them again?
Our temporal team.
Okay. And are they a special group that just time travels and corrects things, or what? How's that work?
Time travel is pretty fun. You know, there's a picture of me in 1941 in a black and white photo. I'm in Braylorn, British Columbia, and someone snapped a photo of me. Called the Time Traveler. You know, we can do. We've been working on this planet for a very long time, seeing what has to occur. And we've run simulations after simulation after simulation, and we finally got it right this time, and everything's falling into place. It's like you're doing, it's like you go through these time travel missions, and some don't work out, and that timeline will collapse, or you'll actually do something in order for a timeline to collapse to push you into a higher timeline. And so we've had to go back from what all the like the temporal rifts and all these little inconsistencies that we've had. So we've had to go back and kind of patch these things up to where, like, now the Titanic never happened. If you go and look in all the history books, the Titanic never sank. No one ever died. Everyone made it off, and everyone survived, except for a few people, I think. You know, but most of the people, they got on the boat. Well, that's, you know, we all know the story that the Titanic sank and everyone died. Well, in this timeline, that's a lot different. Just like with this timeline, you know, the government didn't take over, and all these things that were going to happen, and we prevented World War III.
I had some folks on last week, and we talked about the skulls, crystal skulls.
Mm-hmm.
And those are being left around, and they're finding them. And they have maps and all sorts of stuff on them. And they've got vibrations, and they got, apparently they're giving out messages. Is this tied into your thing also? How's that work with this?
Those are real, actual skulls from real beings. And so you're finding remains of a real being's skull, and that crystal can always be tapped into because it holds mimetic and vibrational information.
And they come alive.
And it's called living terrafilm. So imagine you have like micro crystallized microfilm. Okay, microfilm, like in the old, you know, like in World War II, they have microfilm. If they're trying to pass sensitive information, well, what's the best way to pass sensitive information? You put it into a being and you store it on the micro level. And then you send that being into the field. And the only way to get is to tap into it, is to tap in their consciousness.
Uh-huh. Quite interesting.
It's pretty ingenious, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a walking, talking piece of it, you know, that has quasi amounts of data and knowledge that's waiting to be tapped into.
We're going to open the lines here, Captain. You ready for that? Let's see what we get.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-888-5228. 702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry. Pahrump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275. Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
And I do have the captain here, everybody. Let you know about that, the Galactic Federation Vision. And you're learning quite a bit tonight. And I know if you're listening, you want to ask questions. And sounds like he has the answers. I wish my buddy from NASA would call. Maybe they will.
Too.
Yeah. I've got a lot of questions for him. It'd be nice to be able to talk with him on this stuff too. But do give us a call. One more time, up that number out. Yes.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114.
Yeah, and be able to talk to the captain here. So let me ask you this. So you can go mentally to these ships, or they just pull you like they do the UFOs pull you. Well, these UEPs or whatever, they take you. They can take you through doors. They can take you through windows, walls, roofs. Are you traveled there in an astral body, I guess? Now, when you're on this ship, can you describe a ship for us? What it looks like? We're trying to look at one right now, but go ahead.
Describing the ship.
Yeah.
Well,
do you arrive right inside the ship, or is there a certain bay you go to, or?
Well, on some of the ships, the physics works different. So a ship that could, let's say a ship that's like maybe like a mile in diameter, inside it could be a couple 100 miles in diameter.
Wow.
It has a different structure. It's like it could be like a whole city in there. Things work differently. Time space works differently. But on the ships with that we're just talking, normally they're very beautiful. They're very sleek. Like they glow. They have like bioluminescent doorways. Everything's lit up. Everything's voice activated. Everything can contour. Like let's say you can go into a room and all of a sudden you can program a certain setting, and it will just 3D print itself. And then when you get done, it just it'll atomize and then it'll deatomize. It's very high tech.
Is there a control panel or something like that?
What's that?
Is there a big control panel?
There's control panels, yes, absolutely, and our ships are guided. We have where you can guide them with someone's mind, and you can go into their consciousness, because that's how a lot of these places that we can enter into has to do with memory, and someone's memory to go back into a echolocation of consciousness and triangulate consciousness and node points, and you can open up the portal and you go through the webway.
Wow. So now
it's all a vibration. Mm-hmm. It's really simple. And of course we'll do more shows and I can explain, but it's very simple what the military hides from all of us to make it sound like it's just too out of your mind. It's just too far-fetched. But I promise all of you, if you really listen to what I'm saying and we go on with more shows, you'll see that everything is basic and simple within the universe. And that's why we're here to simplify things for the human race, is to take you through a process where we take your conscious and we elevate it a couple of notches so you get to the point and stage of immortality. And that's our ultimate goal, is to keep you guys alive for as long as we can.
Huh. What about war right now? Will there be a war, a big war?
War? No. There's no power behind war. It's all a facade built upon the illusion of that there's something to fight about. But we're at the stage now where the collective is not in anywhere going to engage in any type of war behavior. No.
I've heard that the war really is technology from its other countries. We have ours, they have theirs, although we're ahead apparently. With your people, apparently, and they're talking, as I hear. How long do you think it would be till we actually see these ships parked in the sky?
At any time. That's what I keep being told. At any time, it can happen.
We just had something happen in Vegas.
And I can tell you one thing, that there's different levels of the theater, of the theatrical drama going on this planet. So what looks like war, that's one part of the drama. And as you rise above the drama and see beyond the illusion, you'll see there's nothing going on. And you just won't pay that you won't pay any more attention to that type of information coming to you, because you know it's not real. It has no power at all. There's no backing. There's no force. There's no love behind that. Because we watch the field. Remember, it's a very intricate game. Okay, it's a very intricate soap opera where, on many levels, many beings are learning many things about themselves and about the world. So it's like a big simulation. I'm just going to tell you, it's one big psychological operation going on the planet right now, and everyone's involved. Everyone's seeing what they believe in. Do you believe in fear? Do you believe in ships? Do you believe in getting old? Do you believe in your health? Do you believe in coming together? So we're all building a new collective idea about what we want to experience for our reality in the future.
Interesting. So the reality right now, I'm talking to you. Are your folks listening to us as we talk right now? Are they hearing us?
Oh, yeah.
Your people, yeah.
We hear everything. Mm-hmm. Everything's listening.
Let's get some of the call in.
You're always being tapped into. Let's just say that.
You're tapped into. Yeah. It's like that cord.
You can never run from yourself.
No.
As much as you think no one's listening, and that's when you're really being looked at, is when you're doing the right things. See, when you're doing the right thing, you're being examined in this game, and you start to do, because you walk a righteous path and you do the right thing because you're being led to your destiny, into your destiny. Because you're here, we all have our voice in our head, or voices in our head that we talk to and that guide us. It's right, that inner voice, right. That intuition. Yeah. That's your highest self talking with you. That's you always guiding yourself in the journey of life. Isn't that funny? So that's your spirit
a bit different
talking to you.
Okay, let's try this again. Checking this phone out here. Okay. Checking on one line here. We'll open that line up again. Front line's still ringing. Okay, good. There we go. Let's put this number out again.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114.
All right, we are live, and hello and welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you from?
Ken from Florida.
Oh, Ken, how you doing, sir? Gosh.
Oh, not bad.
Now, what do you think about this Galactic situation here, the captain?
Well, I'd like to ask the captain there what he eats. Does he eat the same food we eat?
Captain? Did you hear the question? Are you there, Captain?
I don't hear him.
Huh. Well, he's on the line. Line's still open.
Huh.
Maybe it's Let's see. He's there. Yeah, he's working. Strange. Maybe they're. Huh. Yeah, it's weird. I got you through, and I just had another message that they're just both busy. Crazy. Yeah, he's there, so I don't know why he's not hearing us.
I don't know. I hear you, but
yeah.
I don't hear him.
Nope. See, maybe he's struggling with his Wi-Fi or something, but he still is connected. That's odd.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe he took a trip to another planet.
Maybe he's getting something to eat.
Uh,
But no, it's interesting because he's from this galactic thing, and like he says, we're all working together, and we're being watched. And how do you feel about that, Ken?
I don't know. Our phones ain't working together.
Yeah.
We're all working together, but something's missing.
Well, I'm going to just drop this line here and give him a call back. See where he's at.
Yeah, get him back on because he's got a good job, man. He can take off and go. And oh, well.
Let's see where he is. Here we go. I'm going to dial him right up and give him another call here. See what happened. It might be the government industry. Oh, shoot. Yeah, we have had lines go down like that, but what happens when people are on cell phones? They drop off. And
yeah, I'm on landline.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. As I'm looking for it right here. Okay, here we go. Stand by.
That's buzzing in here.
Let's see where he's at. I think I got him on. It's ringing. Are you there? Are you there, Captain? Okay,
I'm here, but I don't know where he is.
We got him. We got him back. Captain, you there?
Yes.
Okay, what happened? You dropped off. That happens. Cell phones.
Yeah, I'd like to ask the captain if he eats the same food we eat.
Yes, sir. I do eat the same food sometimes, and we also have to take in what's called monoatomic gold. So I have a special technology called Mana that I use, and also a bioluminescent infusion technology that we've created called Regenerate that helps me to operate at such a high capacity being on Earth. So yes, we do eat the same foods you guys, just not as much. We really don't eat very much. Maybe once a day. Sometimes I'll eat for a week. It just depends. But yeah, we don't really need so much food as you guys.
Huh.
Well, how
interesting.
Where do you work? Do you have a job here on Earth, or?
Well, my job here on Earth is taking care of you guys. That's my job. So,
how do you get paid?
How do I get paid? Well, things operate different at higher levels of consciousness, where things just kind of get put in your. Things just get presented to you, and the world just takes care of you. Things just are presented to you in a different way. But so it's really not working. We're in service, and the higher powers that be just take care of us. So we've already gone through that stage of working and doing all those things, and now we operate on higher levels where things just happen for us. That's part of our payment system, is coming this far and taking care of humanity, and the world just takes care of us.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I love it. It really makes you respect all the work that you've done to help the human race, and everything that I've gone through, in my human life of being in service. And it really instills a sense of joy in you when you know that you're taking care of everyone at your highest capacity your whole entire life, and now the world is going to work in such a way where it'll take care of you your entire life.
Well, I'll tell you, I got close to a UFO many years ago, and I don't never want to get that close again because that thing's been on my back ever since 1967.
Yeah.
I live it every day of my life, what I seen, though I seen nothing come out of it. But I want to tell you what it did to me. You wouldn't want to happen to you because it's on my back every day of my life.
Yeah.
Every day I think about what I seen. Maybe I shouldn't have went there. But when I heard about it back in the 67, I had to see it.
Yep.
Well, I've seen it. Now, sometimes I wished I would have never seen it, but what it did to me will never go away. It will never go away.
It's a memory, yeah.
Okay, are you married?
I am not married, no, sir. Not married, but I am married to my love for taking care of humanity. That's kind of like my love affair as being in such service to the world. That's why I was built, and that's what I do best. I take care of people.
Well, I'm glad I got the opportunity to talk to you because I never talked to anybody like this.
Well, the honor is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. I really appreciate all of you, and I know all of you are going through rough times right now, but I just want you to know just to keep having faith and seeing the best outcomes and expect the best in your life, because you have beings on this planet that love you more than life itself, and we do everything for you guys. We want all of you to have the best possible positive life experience that you came here to have, and that's job number one, is keeping you guys happy.
I think that's great.
Well, Larry, I'm going to let him go and let somebody else have a couple minutes with him.
Well, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate it, my friend.
Okay.
We'll be in touch.
Thank you, sir. It was great talking to you.
Okay.
Yes, great people in Florida, I'll tell you.
I know. I love it.
Yeah.
Such great questions, too.
Now, I have a question now. This came up on the internet here, and it says here, something about the outside the ship. What's outside the ship? I mean, because you talked about what's inside the ship. Are you aware of any other intergalactic space commander or group that's outside your ship? I mean, are they around your ship?
I mean, well, we're all here. You have a whole armada of ships that surround the planet right now.
Right. Well, we got another caller. Caller,
perfect.
What's your name and where are you from, please?
Hi, this is Roberta.
Okay, Roberta, go ahead and ask your question for the captain.
Hi, Roberta. How you doing?
If I keep cutting out, I have a terrible time. This is the 15th time I've called. Okay, I wanted to know if he's aware of Aurora Ray of the Galactic Federation ground crew.
Yes.
And it's for real?
Yes, I'm aware of her. She is an ambassador of ours. Absolutely.
Okay. And another question is, have you ever heard of or are aware of the Intergalactic Space Corridor?
The Intergalactic Space Corridor? Is that what you said?
Yes.
It's see, all these words, all these ideas that you're gathering, all are coming from the same source. So these are all a part of our Galactic Federation. There's many programs going on, just like you have a governmental system that has they have one system and they have other factions, but they're all linked back to like the military or the government or the health department or something like that. So these are programs running within programs. So we've been on your planet for hundreds of thousands of millions of years. So everything that you've been experiencing, we've been watching. So all these, we've been developing your species and this consciousness for beings to get at this stage and to make decisions about where they're going to be placed with their life path after being on this planet for so long and so many cycles. Certain beings will go off into this reality. Other being factions and like social memory complexes will go into other soul groups together and experience. But we'll all be here on Earth experiencing different parts of the classroom, if that makes sense.
I understand. The reason I ask is I've been there.
Of course you have.
Not physically, but through consciousness.
Yes.
It was in the middle of space. The flooring, that's the only way I can explain it because I don't know how to explain it. The flooring was black and white checks. There were two huge UFOs or aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were a couple of buildings, but I wasn't allowed to go any closer. But I was there.
And how big were these spacecraft, do you think?
They were huge. They weren't round, though. They were elongated and kind of like ballooned out, kind of pointed at the front and ballooned out on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There was two of them there.
See, we all live up in the spaceships, and we play on the field down here on Terra. And so different parts, and see, these are astral locations. There's nothing physical in reality. It's Midgard right here, which is called Earth. This is the place where all of consciousness is crystallized and solidified, and we all play here in the Garden of Eden. But we have to have like referees and higher beings to oversee what's going on throughout creation. And so all of our ships are here and also above the firmament too. So we have ships that are inside the containment field and ships that are outside the containment field. But we're all here observing.
Okay, I have another question here.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody that's talked about, well, almost everybody's talked about UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
They say they're green Martians, they have big eyes and skinny bodies. I didn't see them that way. Is it possible that there's a hypnotic power that hypnotizes the people to see them that way?
We can, well, I want you to know that in a lot of these ships above your planet, like a lot of these, well, the majority of extraterrestrials above your planet.
No, I'm here. I'm listening, you guys. You're good.
Oh, I was going to say that the majority of the extraterrestrials above your planet are humans, just like you and me. They look just like you and me. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're just they may have a little bigger eyes. They may be a little taller. A lot of us don't talk. We're telepathic.
Larry?
Yes, go ahead.
And
I hear you. I don't think she thinks she's being heard. We got you. Sure. We got you. You're still in line, Roberta. Maybe she's on a cell phone too. That's a bummer when that happens. Go ahead and answer. Yeah, go ahead and just keep answer a question. What you're trying to say.
Yeah. So most of it, I mean, the ones that I deal with, they look a lot like us. And there's other beings, but we're all upright bipedal beings.
Okay, you cut out for me, so I don't know what you answered to it.
We're listening to you. It's your cell. It's not us. Go ahead. He's answering your question.
I was just saying that most of the extraterrestrials are humans. Okay, and we're from a future race of humanity, and we come back and we observe our past, and we observe the flock, and we observe humanity. But most of us are humans, and we have other beings. We have human bodies, but some bodies, they may look at different colors. Some may have look like felines or cats or canines, or So we have different type of beings, but a lot of us look human.
How many of your ships you think have crashed? Now, this is the big thing in the news. The whistleblower, and he's on a retrieval team. Have any of your ships crashed?
Well, within the past few thousand years, 758 have crashed.
Ooh. Mm.
And a lot of them, it's been so long ago that when they crash, they're under hundreds of feet of Earth, or they're in, like a lot of our ships that have crashed were in Antarctica.
Yeah, just
and so these teams have went out there under 2 miles of ice and done these excavations, and that's why we've been down there, because there's technology. There's a whole city down there, and we're getting these world energy engines turned on for you guys.
Wow.
To have free,
Captain,
sustainable zero point energy forever.
I'm at the top of the hour, so we're just going to take just a tad of a break and come right back to you, okay? All right?
Sounds good.
Stand by. Thank you, Roberta, for your call.
You ignore the sign.
Now, back with Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio, deep in the desert of Nevada.
We have the captain with the Galactic Federation viewers. I guess that's what you call you guys now, or do you change that to something else as you guys get older? I guess, or is it the same company, the same how I say this group troopers and what have you? Vision.
I just call us Galactic.
The Galactics. Okay.
It's just like it's like calling ourselves Atlanteans or Egyptians or Americans. I just call us Galactics.
Galactics. Okay. All right. Because I've heard different things that they call each other. Now apparently you knew this person that this lady was talking about. It's on your team apparently, or how's that connect?
Say that one more time now.
The lady that she was talking about, this person that apparently it's on the same federation that you're with. There's
okay.
Aurora.
Yeah. I mean, we're all working. So imagine you bring a team of 144,000.
Right.
I mean, you got a team, a certain amount of team, they're working their jobs. And you got ambassadors, and you got field officers and commanders, and, they're working their teams. But we all work for the same team, We may not talk, and we may not all talk on this level, but on the higher levels, we're always in service to each other, because we're all doing our work right now. And so you're seeing a lot of these, big names, like my buddy in England, Jerry Sargent. He's one of the guys, the top, metaphysician for doing, amazing work. You gotta check him out. Huh. Jerry Sargent. It's Star Magic. So he's using his metaphysical powers, healing thousands of people across the world. Okay?
I see.
He's recapitulating their consciousness and assisting their higher selves in doing all this amazing metaphysical work. He's one of the top metaphysicians on the planet. And but we're all doing what we're doing. I think it's the most beautiful thing ever.
Now, some folks would say, well, religion. I'm a Catholic, I'm a Lutheran, or Christian. Where does Jesus come in on this whole thing? Where does God?
Comes in everywhere.
Okay.
On the higher story, on the bigger vision of Jesus Christ, it's meant to be expressing your higher self and taking in effect how you treat others, how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you talk with others, how you treat yourself indirectly reinforces how you treat the earth. How you treat the earth, is reflected by how you treat yourself, and so on. And so that teaching is a universal teaching, and all walks of life throughout the whole universe is to always express and be at your highest self at all times. That's what basically Jesus Christ represents, is walking righteously and having the virtue of love.
Yes, I agree with that. How would you look at the creation of mankind? I mean, who made the earth? God.
Who made the earth?
The universe created all this stuff. These new.
Earth is an idea. It's a concept in the time-space webway. It's an astral location that exists in the mind of the mind of the universe. And so it's an astral location that groups go into metaphysically, in a metaphysical space. Okay, just like if you were to say, here's Dallas, Texas, and Fort Worth. Well, these really don't exist, except they exist in our minds. So they exist on astral locations, and astrozoharical locations mentally, and we've all chosen to come to Earth in our minds and experience what it is to be a human being in the supposed year 2023. So it's a big mind bender to think we're just really here, like in a stasis chamber above the planet, and we're having like a VR, like a virtual reality experience. And some of us have these avatars, and we're inside of a virtual reality game having interactions with the computer system, and you're interacting with biological beings.
What about the moon?
The moon. The moon is a reflection of the giant of our universe, of our realm. And so you're looking at just like the Hermetic principles say, as above, so below. And so that is the shadow of the earth. That's why it's in black and white. It's a shadow. Okay, so so if you were to take a digital picture of that and you would lay that on all the land masses of Earth, you would see it would match that directly. And there's other planetary systems and subsectors beyond what we call Earth that is reflected upon that, and that's a giant. That's Holy Terra. That's what's called Terra. It's a giant rock.
Huh. And now let's look at, of course, Jupiter. And the Mars, and so here, where we go from here. Because we're going to wrap this up real soon, but I mean, it's not too late, right? I mean, that's why you guys are here to help us out and all that.
Everything's going off perfectly.
Good.
For Earth. Everyone's going to make it. That's why we've been doing these time travel missions and working, with your governments, with our federation, and doing these very covert missions, saving children. Like me and my partner, my canine partner, we've saved over 5 million women and children from these underground networks. Okay, and he's going to be the first canine to ever be deemed admiral. And so there's going to be a very amazing awards ceremony, all of us who've been on this planet doing the work. And it's going to be like when all the soldiers came back from World War II, and everyone's going to have all this ticker tape and parades, and there's going to be a story told about us, and you're going to be shown what's been happening. And it's a very positive outlook, my friend. I will tell you that, brother.
Well, we're going to have you back on again, Captain.
Great.
Now, next time I talk to you, you get a different rank. I don't know. How's that work?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Okay.
You never
And
know, buddy.
you have your own ship now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Well, I'm at market in Esmeralda, and in the beautiful down Good Springs. No, I'm ready to take a ride. Oh, you betcha. Gosh, tell you for sure. But again, Captain, we want to thank you for being on, and try to tell everybody hello. Of course, that's been listening. Ed, and of course Barbara and Neil and Randy, Chief Hall, Dee and Ken, and we had Robert on, and I know a lot more people listening. I got a lot of people here in the list that came up on the computer on the other sides. Great. A lot of Texas and a lot of Canada. Pretty crazy. But again, I think but we'll get you back on. We'll talk about some other stuff and go down this, well, I say rabbit hole, or how will we, we'll cover it again. I think it'd be a lot of fun, to tell you the truth. Again, thank you for listening. This is Glenn Larry of the Glenn Larry Show. Play well, be well. And once again, thank you for being on. We'll talk to you later, my friend. Well, there you go. And again, folks, thank you so very much. Be well. I am Glenn Larry.